like to begin by congratulating Enrique and all his team for the many, many years of hard work and dedication that he's put into everything that has to do with North America. Enrique, you've done an outstanding job, and we're all very privileged to be a part of that team and have been that way for many, many years. Also, just the thought of sharing with my colleagues here, a prize of this importance is enormously thrilling. I won't go by mentioning each one of the other prize winners, which are more than deserved, but each and every one of them, we have been united for years in this effort, and there's a very strong friendship and recognition and feeling of pride among all of us. So thank you all, and just being a part of this team is enormously thrilling. Enormous work has been done during all these years. The results we all know, they're absolutely fantastic. And they are the genesis of what is today North America and everything that has to do with nearshoring. People talk about nearshoring as if it was discovered yesterday. It started with the free trade agreement and all the transformations the free trade agreement has generated over the many years. We have every reason to be very proud of it, and we have every reason to be perfectly aware of the enormous challenge ahead to make it all the more a reality. I think we're very privileged to be a part of that teamwork, and I'm sure that all of us will be very much as committed as always to making that happen. Ahead of us is a learning curve, of course, but also ahead of us is assisting enormously in terms of making sure that everyone understands and participates in this enormous transformation that we can call the new North America. And in that sense, I'm sure this meeting will be very, very successful. It's in that context that I just want to thank you for this prize. I feel very honored, very pleased, very privileged to be a part of this. And I very much look forward to many, many years ahead between all of us of making this every time more a great reality for our country, for the US, and for Canada. Thank you all very
much. Queridos amigos, querida amigas, dear friends, chers amis. Proudly wearing the Aguia Azteca on my lapel, it is a great honor to share a few moments with you in Mexico City on the occasion of this year's North Capital Forum. Congratulations to you, Enrique, and the organizers of the forum. You're working hard to bring together leaders from Mexico, the United States, and Canada in advancing the vision of a powerful and united continent. It was this vision that prompted those of us who, in the early 1990s, saw in the NAFTA the promise of a better, more prosperous collaboration of our three peoples. It is a privilege to be associated with the distinguished trailblazers you are celebrating today, the likes of Carla Hills, Jaime Serra, Juan Gallardo, and Carlos Gutierrez. The dream of a united North America began with the Canada-United States Free Trade Initiative in the 1980s, encouraged by the Bush-Reagan administration and led at the political level in Canada by Prime Minister Brian Mulroney. As my Canadian business colleagues here today know well, the business leadership in Canada played a decisive role in bringing the free trade agreement across the finish line in one of the most hotly contested elections in our history. That agreement laid the foundation stone of the NAFTA. The NAFTA campaign, which followed in the early 1990s, and which was hard fought, particularly in the United States, benefited from the support of business leaders in all three countries. The advantages of the NAFTA soon became clear for all to see in its impact on jobs, investment, and innovation in all three countries. The NAFTA proved to be resilient, surviving the impact of 9/11 and the dangerous threat of President Trump to cancel the agreement. Today, we know the NAFTA by other names, depending on which of our three countries you are in. Where does our three-country agreement stand today in comparison with what we aspired to in those early days? Back then, we dared to dream of a genuine continental free trade area rooted in permanency, with technologically advanced border facilitation, non-discriminatory investment protocols, coordinated approaches to regulatory cooperation, compatible policies in energy, the environment, and labor practices, and embracing of a dynamic, innovation-based concept of North American competitiveness, strongly backed by business groups in all three countries working closely together. We even dared to dream of a North American community where skilled workers could travel relatively freely across our borders. From the outset, our three countries' understanding also committed to achieving the highest possible levels of cooperation in securing the external borders of the continent from military, terrorist, and criminal threats. Exacerbated by drug-related and migratory criminal activities, we are far from reaching our ambitions. Clearly, while we can point to progress, we are far from achieving the vision or the full potential of the original NAFTA promise. In today's world, the overarching challenge to the vision of the Trailblazers are serious political threats emerging primarily from the deeply divisive politics of the Great Republic and the serious problems facing the governance of the Mexican state. Also worrying to me and to many Canadians is the appeal of authoritarianism in some in America and Mexico. Canada is not without its own problems, but in my country, we remain strongly committed, at the very least, to a positive and secure relationship with the United States, fortified by a defense alliance which we cannot live without. This said, the Canada-Mexico connection has promise, but needs a great deal of work. And while our respective bilateral relationships are important, it's worth reminding ourselves the Trailblazers from day one rejected the idea of a hub and spoke North America. Like many of you, my long-standing involvement in the North American business issues has always been based on a core belief that Canada, Mexico, and the United States, working closely in concert, could ensure that the North American region would remain the most innovative and productive in the world for many decades to come. We are clearly not on track to achieving this goal. As an important private sector actor in dealing with this challenge, the North Capital Forum has a vital role to play. I wish you great success. Thank you and buena ventura.
Bueno, muchísimas gracias a todos y especialmente a los amigos del US Mexico Foundation. Es un poco irónico que me estén dando un premio a mí por cualquier contribución que he hecho a la cercanía, a la amistad entre Estados Unidos y México. La verdad es que yo le debo mucho a México. Yo empecé mi carrera en México, yo descubrí que yo podía manejar gente, que podía hacer negocios, yo aprendí todo eso. Yo descubrí a mi empresa Kellogg's en México. En fin, aprendí a trabajar en México. Y eso me ayudó a ir a Canadá, a ir a Australia, a ir a Estados Unidos, pero sin México yo no estaría donde estoy. Entonces, creo que el agradecimiento es de mí para ustedes, de lo que me han dado y lo que he podido hacer para la amistad de Estados Unidos-México. Es una contribución muy pequeña a lo que ha hecho México por mí. Así que muchísimas gracias a todos. Este es un momento tan especial para México y Estados Unidos. Los problemas que han habido en el mundo con cadenas de suministro, todo apunta a que México y Estados Unidos entren a un periodo de crecimiento, un periodo de prosperidad, de inversión, de empleos. Creo que es una oportunidad que viene una vez en la vida y ahorita la estamos viviendo. Las nuevas generaciones que se están metiendo al servicio público, que tienen un punto de vista, que quieren acercarse y buscar foros, buscar instituciones como US Mexico Foundation para seguir promoviendo la amistad entre los dos países, los felicito. Y por favor, métanse en el servicio público, conocer los temas del mundo, tengan un punto de vista, participen en la obra de servicio público. Eso es una manera de seguir cambiando y seguir acercándonos. Aquí en Estados Unidos hay mucho mexicano-americano que está en la política. Creo que mucha de la gente joven en México tienen que apuntar a una visión a largo plazo, una visión de crecimiento, una visión global, y participando en la cuestión pública es una forma muy poderosa. Muchísimas gracias y espero verlos en México pronto.